I really like the analogy, or I don't know, maybe it's more than an analogy, that economics is kind of the geometry of markets in a way. Because this to
that's
me,
what our claim is.
yes. Well, and I think it's enshrined in the Austrian literature, actually. So you look at, we'd say Keynesian economics has more of the physics type envy you've described, but Austrian economics is very demathematized. It's really like Euclidean geometry or any other form of geometry. It's just rooted in these axioms that we then rationally deduce. I guess they are theorems from, but it's based in an a priori rationalistic epistemology, whereas all of these other, Keynesian economics is much more empirical, I guess you could say. I would call that more economic history versus first principle economics, which is how I view.
It's an interesting question because you see, one of the problems with Keynesianism is that it's like trying to describe a physical system when in fact your interference with that physical system may be the most important determiner of how that physical system behaves. So if somebody says, okay, I've got this distribution of temperatures at time 0, and then I allow it to run, what will my distribution of temperatures be at time 7, let's say?
Yeah.
And then I say, well, I could try to solve that problem using the heat equation, but tell me something. Are you going to be pumping heat in over here and sucking it out over there and shaking the box and sticking your hand in? And the person says, yeah, I mean, somebody's got to manage the economy. And then I say, well, then I don't want to guess what it's going to do, because my guess is that you're going to interfere with everything that my calculations would say. And if I don't have a model for you, Mr. Central Banker, I don't know how it's supposed to evolve, because you could step in at any moment and say, we're closing the gold window and opening the latex window, where you can exchange money for rubber to stretch your dollar further, something like this. Okay, I don't know what stupid thing's going to occur to you. I can't be responsible for trying to guess my future because you've got your finger on the scale. Your thumb is pushing down on the scales that I use to measure and evaluate what it is I'm doing with my life. So I'm sympathetic with what Keynesianism wants to do in theory, which is to alleviate things like the economy seizing up because everybody prefers to hold savings due to nervousness. Mm-hmm. Okay. But what you're also doing is that you're giving certain people the right to play God, and I don't think they have the wisdom to do it.
Agreed completely on that. So, and this is something that quantum physics...
I want to say something more, though.
Please.
It's not intrinsically that I think everybody is, corrupt or stupid, but my experience with this has been very interesting. In essence, I understand that the field doesn't want to acknowledge that it doesn't know what it's doing, but it doesn't.
Right.
And it's not like they're saying, historically, this is really an important claim. Let's see if there's anything to it. Mm-hmm. It's more like, how do we make this go away? Mm-hmm. And the usual way to make things go away is that you start attacking the people. What are their motivations? Why are they doing this? Why do they think it's a big deal? Well, we should be able to agree that if the field is not interested in itself as a science, it doesn't want to scientifically progress. It's not interested in new techniques or whether or not the claims that it's made are provably false. Then you wouldn't want those people at the Keynesian tiller, even if you believed in Keynesianism. You'd say, why would I want the least competent people who are the most head in the sand, the people who want to stay in Plato's cave and never see the sunlight? Why would I want them with their hands on the tiller of the economy? Why would I want their thumb on my scale in the marketplace of ideas? Mm-hmm. So in part, what I've become just incensed about is, how dare you hide your field away from challengers? You can pretend to have a Nobel Prize, which you don't. But why don't you line up all the Nobel Prize winners who want to go down and fight this thing off?
Right.
Yeah.